Welcome to the IA on AI podcast, part of the Audit Podcast Network, where we bring you weekly updates on AI from the internal auditor's perspective. Here we go. From the WashingtonPost.com, a Marco Rubio impostor is using AI voice to call high-level officials. For those that are overseas and may not know who Marco Rubio is, he is the U.S. Secretary of State. That's a big deal. Like, he is high ranking. I know when I hear news from overseas and I hear a government title, I'm like, I don't even know. Is that an important position? Or I've never even heard of that. So for those overseas listeners, yes, this is a very important position in the US. So according to the Washington Post, in mid-June 2025, attackers successfully contacted 5 high-level officials using an AI-generated voice clone of Marco Rubio over Signal to try accessing sensitive information. So those 5 high-level officials, one was a US governor, again, pretty big deal. One was a member of Congress, pretty big deal. And 3 were foreign ministers. So yeah, this one was a big one. I don't think we're all at all surprised that this happened. I think everybody saw once you could do deep fakes that this was inevitable. There have been voice attacks in the past. There's been phishing scams with executives as well. An email sent to someone on the team, hey, wire X amount of money. I'm in Mexico or on vacation or something. Wire this amount to this account. And people have done it. There's stories about that all over the place. But I think we're going to start hearing more and more of these. So a couple of things on the audit side to consider. Staff training is going to be big across the organization. Incident response plans around this kind of thing is going to be big. I don't think the playbook is too different from what we already know from other similar attacks in the past. But because of the way that they can mimic someone's voice now, I think it's something like 3 seconds of audio. Maybe it's 15 seconds somewhere. And even with facial and doing deep fakes, I would assume if I was an attacker that the more the executive's face and audio or voice are on the internet, so the ones that are more publicly available are more susceptible to attack potentially. So that's something to consider. Any kind of verification controls on requests for like high dollar value or even low dollar value transfers from an executive is something else to consider. From lawandworkplace.com, big beautiful bill leaves AI regulation to states and localities for now. So on July 4th, President Trump signed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act into law, a budget reconciliation bill enacting several signature policies of the president's second term agenda left on the cutting room floor. This is the most important part relative to what we're talking about. However, was an ambitious attempt to prohibit nearly all state and local regulation of AI for the foreseeable future. So basically where we're at right now is US federal AI regulation, not likely and anytime soon. I don't think that's a huge surprise to anyone that's been following AI governance. And now it is basically the states can enforce their own AI regulation. So risk being a patchwork of AI regulations. So depending on the state that your organization operates in, you might have to adhere to multiple. I don't think anyone really knows about that quite yet. So definitely, if you have not, you should review and audit your AI governance frameworks. If there's not one, there's an immediate audit finding right there. Hey, we need an AI governance framework for our organization. And if you haven't audited or reviewed it in some degree, you should do that as well. From FRC.org, FRC publishes landmark guidance providing clarity to audit profession on the uses of AI. So the FRC is the UK entity that's similar to the US's PCAOB. So think of it like that. FRC kind of says, hey, audit firms, this is what we need from you. So the FRC has published its first guidance on the use of AI in audit alongside a thematic review of the 6 largest firms' processes to certify new technology used in audits. If you're looking at this screen right now, I'm going to scroll just a little bit down and you'll see there's a link to, it's called This New Guidance. In that is a PDF that's about 17 slides long. If you are familiar with PowerPoint, which I'm sure you all are, you know that most of that is intro and appendix and all that kind of good stuff. So there's really only about 4 slides that you need to know. So starting at slide 8, they have this illustrative example of firm XYZ LLP. Really wish we could come up with something better than ABC and XYZ, but nonetheless, firm XYZ LLP. And it talks about, hey, they're going to develop this AI tool. They're going to use this AI method for one, this AI method or model for another one. And then the next slide talks about the that kind of the impact and the considerations for which one they chose. And then 10 or 11 kind of wrap it up. But all it's basically doing is it's saying what the FRC is saying, hey, audit firms, if you're going to use this stuff, which they are, so when you use this stuff, there needs to be a governance framework around it for explainability, transparency, and all the other kind of AI governance terms that we were familiar with. So anyway, this is over in the UK. I think what might be interesting is the impact that it has over in the US and around the rest of the world. So if you're in the US, probably not top of mind for most folks, but definitely something to take 5 minutes, read 4 slides, and get a little bit more familiar with. All right, that's it for this week. We don't really have a catchy slogan to end the show yet. So if you have one and you want to send it to us, we'll be happy to include it. And if we get a bunch, we'll just do a different one every single time. But until then, well, I don't know until then because we don't have anything to leave the folks with yet. So have a good week.